I previously made a video where I talked about scraping eBay in Google Sheets, and my intention was to use AppScript to do it, not use an API. Rather, I was going to fetch the content of eBay listings, right, and then pull that into Google Sheets, which is the way I have been able to do it for the past really like about 5 years. However, it appears that now that no longer works. And so you can still scrape eBay in Google Sheets, but you will have to use eBay API, which I remembered was free. And this validates it here. eBay API is free to access for developers joining the eBay Developers Program. So they have a free tier for basic usage, but if you want to do high volume usage, you then have other rules and things that you have to deal with. So it is still, you can still scrape eBay into Google Sheets using their API. But doing it directly from AppScript, which is how I had intended to do it and how I had been doing it, you won't be able to do that anymore. And I just want to show you that in this video. So I'm showing you that, but I'm also showing you how to check these things in general for any website. So it's not really just about eBay, because there are still many other websites that you can scrape directly into Google Sheets. eBay is just one website that apparently you can't. But let me show you how to check for this, right? So in the previous video, I checked for a response from eBay, and you do still get a response from eBay URLs. However, I took a specific eBay URL, and I tried to fetch the content, and I'll show you what ends up happening. So I built a function, fetch URL content, and when you type in equal fetch URL content, and you go to fetch the content, you get this. So let me explain what happens, right? When you fetch content, when you go to fetch the content and it works out, you actually wouldn't even see anything. It would tell you that there's more data than it can even hold inside of a cell. It would tell you there's more than 50,000 characters. It cannot even print it onto the Google Sheet. So the fact that it even returns anything tells me that I'm not going to be able to fetch the web page content. This is not, this is not it. This is something else. So this is not the web page content. So I won't be able to scrape it in this manner, unless there's some other kind of, something else I don't know about that still makes it possible. But as far as I understand and I know of doing this, I won't be able to get the content from these eBay URLs. All right. But however, we can still try other websites. So what I'll do is I'll try another very popular e-commerce, obviously, website, which is Etsy. And when it comes to the ladder of like strictness, right, I would say like Amazon being like the most strict. They've been blocked from Google Sheets for a long time. eBay now apparently is not like completely blocked, but kind of like a partial block, I guess. In a sense, they probably just want you to use the API. And then we come down to Etsy, which is considered to be maybe a little less strict than eBay, right, in some way. So then, Etsy would be kind of the next level, lower level as far as strictness, and I'll try to see if I can still pull something from Etsy, right? So what I'll do is I'll get a URL from Etsy and copy it, and I'll go over to my fetch URL content sheet, and I'll just paste the Etsy link over here, and I'll do equal fetch URL content, and I'll click on the URL, press enter, and see if anything comes up. And this is what I want to see. This is what you want to see. Text result of fetch URL content is longer than the limit of 50,000 characters. This is absolutely what you want to see. This lets you know that there's so much results coming from this that it can't even show you the results, okay? Because truly there's way too much content on a web page for it to print into one little cell on Google Sheets. So that's what you want to see. Text result of fetch URL content is longer than the limit of 50,000 characters. This was successful. We can certainly scrape Etsy using AppScript completely for free and basically in an unlimited way. And so in other videos, what I'll do is I'm going to look at scraping Etsy and building an Etsy scraper in Google Sheets. So see the description of this video for a link to get onto scraping eBay, Etsy in Google Sheets.